So one hand on the lower abdomen, the other hand on top. And let's just take a moment and arrive and find our center. So I was just listening to someone talk about this, and um, I think like a lot of times we say a lot of words, but embodying those sometimes can be a little tricky. So when we say, centering, and what that means is literally like putting our energy and our awareness in this part of the body. Because if we try to calm the mind down from the mind, it's kind of tricky to do that. But if you start paying attention and finding our center, putting our awareness in our center, the mind will start to actually calm down and slow down, and the space between the thoughts becomes wider and wider. So finding our center is literally dropping our awareness into certain areas of the body, particularly in this area. And in doing so and slowing the breath down, our mind starts to quiet, starts to arrive in this moment as well. Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to put everyone on mute here. So we're just starting with some lower abdominal breath work here. Finding our center, meaning putting our awareness on this area. Our attention is one of the most precious things that we have for ourselves. And as we know, for any marketing situation, right? Advertisement, what is it all about? It's really about getting a hold of our attention. So we know how precious that is. So if we work on our own attention and we direct it purposefully on certain areas, certain ways of calming the mind down and focusing on our center here, right, we start to gain more control or activate our agency. We're deciding on what we want to pay attention to. And so we're paying attention to this moment. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears, allowing the breath to have space. Space to expand and then contract and let go. And when we put our attention on the center, calm the mind down, we start to notice more about what's happening right now in this moment. Our perception widens. We notice things maybe we wouldn't have noticed before. And when we calm the mind, we center ourselves, the nervous system starts to recalibrate. Our emotional center starts to recalibrate. And then let's open our eyes, and we'll go into a version of knocking on the door of life that has a little more focus on the first point on the kidney channel, which is right where the ball of your foot meets the arch. If anyone has knee problems and it doesn't feel good, it's still very gentle, but if it doesn't feel good, just do the regular knocking on the door of life. But this version, as we knock, we come to the heel of your foot. So you're lifting the ball of your foot and then coming back down. So it's just a little variation, right? It helps to activate the kidney channel. It's slightly opening the hips. But we're still knocking across the lower abdomen and the lower back. We're going to do a little bit more heat generating today. It is 8 degrees here. Very cold. Our pipes froze. They always freeze no matter what we do. If it's below 10 degrees, we've tried everything. So we're going to just roll with it. We have at least water in the bathroom. So we can take showers and brush our teeth. And go to the bathroom, of course. And then if you are coming to the heels of your foot, now let's just have the feet center. A few rounds right at the front here. And then we'll start to slow down. Okay, so now a version of spinal cord breathing that I love is bear walking. So now instead of coming to the heels of your feet, you're going to come to the balls of your feet. So as we rotate over to the left, you're going to come to the balls of your right foot and then bring your hands up by your face. So this is on the inhale. And then we'll come back to the center and then exhale down. Now rotate over to the right, coming to the balls of the left foot, hands by the face, and then exhale. So we rotate. We're still opening up the front of the spine and the chest. We exhale back to the center. Inhale, look up. And back to the center. So if you don't come to the ball of the opposite foot, just makes it a little bit more hard to rotate. So just by doing that one variation or slight change in position of the feet really helps to be able to rotate over and extend. And exhale down. Just opening up even the shoulders here. Moving on the breath, nice deep inhale. And then nice slow exhale back to the center. So this is really a real gentle, but really great movement to open up the hips, open up the shoulders, open up the spine. Just a few more. And let's do one more. And then back to the center. Let me fix my yoga mat here. Okay, now let's do just a little bit of picking cherries. My back, I don't know about you, but when it gets colder, this area gets a little crankier. So picking cherries, a really great way to gently decompress the lower spine, really the entire length of the spine. So the arms are up over your head. Keep your knees slightly bent, your tailbone, tuck it down slightly towards the earth. And then you're going to just very gently reach up with your right hand, pressing in through your right foot, and then come back to the center and down. So as you reach with your left hand, press down through your left foot so you get a nice stretch along the spine and then back down. And go slowly, because when we go slowly, we're really allowing those muscles to get a gentle stretch. The spine gets a nice, gentle elongation, and this area just opens up. And by tucking the tailbone down slightly, you're creating micro space in that lumbar area. Just really gently back and forth. Put your awareness on your spine as you're doing this. And just imagine what's happening as we reach both up and down simultaneously. So you're pressing down through the leg as you're reaching up, creating that nice stretch all along the muscles along the spine. Inhaling as you stretch, exhale back down to the center. Few more. This feels really good. Especially if you've been sitting for a while. So getting up, moving around, doing a minute or two of this is really great to get some movement and space in this area that gets crunchy. Now come to the center, drop the arms, spread your fingers, and then let your arms come down. Keep your fingers nice and stretched, and we'll just press down through the palms towards the earth. So your wrists are slightly extended. So when we do this, you should feel a stretch through the inner forearm into and through the palms. And just let your head tilt over to the left. Just let it drop over. So you don't need to press it over. You're just letting it fall. And then very slowly on the inhale, let your head just tilt towards the back of the shoulder on the inhale. And then exhale, let it roll across that shoulder over to the front of the shoulder. So inhale, roll back and look up. Exhale, roll forward, looking down. Nice and slowly. Just letting the movement and that very gentle gravitational pull in your head to start to free up all of the little spaces that get crunchy, bunched up. And just imagine as we're doing this, imagine that you're outside, if anyone gardens, and you take out the hose and then all of a sudden the water's not coming through and you realize there's a kink, right? You go unkink it and then the water flows freely. So just imagine that all of these little energy pathways along the shoulder, the neck, are like energetic versions of these garden hoses. And as we breathe and stretch gently, we're unkinking so that there's space for energy to flow, chi, for blood to flow. So our brains are better nourished. And then on the exhale, let your head come all the way forward. So your chin's towards your chest and then over to the right shoulder. Keep those fingers nice and stretched and your palms pressing gently down towards the earth. Even just doing that, you should feel the stretch. And then inhale, your head rolls back. And then exhale forward. And then let your head come all the way forward. Pick your head upright. So we'll do that one more time, but this time we're going to turn so the palms are facing up, and then touch your fingertips to your thumbs and flex your wrist. So the back of your wrists are pressing down towards the earth. And then let your head tilt over to the left again. So same position of the head. The arms are just slightly changed so that we go into, again, let your head roll back on the inhale and exhale forward, that we're stretching now the back of the arms, the back of the hands. This is great for circulation to the hands. If you get cold hands, Raynaud's, arthritis, right? Helping to unkink, let energy flow more freely, bringing more heat and blood to these areas. And then over to the opposite side. And then let your head come forward, drop your arms down. Just close your eyes for a moment. See if you notice that flood of energy through your shoulders, down your arms, through the fingertips. And let's open our eyes, and we'll do a clearing exercise, tiger. We'll go into a wider stance after that and then go into our flows. So tiger claws above the head. Your feet are about outer hip distance apart. Take a nice inhale, and as we exhale, bend the knees as you bring your hands towards the earth. And then inhale, start to roll up, keeping your hands in a tiger claw. So just imagine that you're dredging all the gunk. You can exhale out the mouth. Excuse me, inhale through the nose. Like you're taking a tool and you're pulling out the weeds, sending it to the earth, energetically clearing. Pulling out the gunk. Opening up the hips. If this is not feeling good on your knees, you don't have to go down that far. Even just a slight bend, bringing the hands down, you're still having the same intention. If it feels like you want to open up the hips a little more, just keep the weight more towards your heels as you come down. That will protect your knees. So your weight isn't towards your toes, it's more towards your heels. Almost like you're sitting down. You're going to sit down in a chair. In fact, as you come down, try lifting your toes up. That will tell you if your weight is too far forward or not. Let's do one more inhale. Exhale. Come up, cross the forearms, take a nice inhale, and then we'll exhale with a nice tiger growl. Okay, cleansing and clearing, right? Or transforming. We have time to do one wider stance movement. So let's bring the feet close or further apart, excuse me. And we'll go into a swimming dragon. So the palms are together, your elbows are out to the sides. Take a nice inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to shift the weight over to the left foot. And as you do, just bring your hands across the body. Hold on. Yes. Cross the body over to your left, and then you turn and look right. And then inhale to the center. Sometimes I'm forgetting if I'm mirroring you, I'm saying the right side. Now transfer the weight over to the right. Hands come across to the right, and then you turn and look left. Inhale to the center, over to the left, turn, look right, back to the center. And then you can either stay at this slower pace, or if you want to try practicing or playing with increasing the speed slightly, but we're still moving on the breath, but we're generating some heat, opening up the hips, stretching the arms, especially as the hands come across that front, the outer front shoulder gets a nice stretch here. And then turning and looking in the opposite direction brings a stretch up into the neck area. So as the hands come across, we stretch that outer arm, comes almost straight. Just a little bend, that's totally fine. But you want to feel a gentle stretch here. I'm going to come to the center for a moment. We'll pause. Heart to the sky on the inhale. So inhale, spread the arms out to the sides and look up. And then exhale back to the center. And then inhale. Exhale one more time. Inhale. And exhale. And let's do that one more time. So bending the knees. If you're in less of a bend, that's totally fine. Whatever feels good for you. This time we'll start over to the right. So shift the weight over to the right, hands across, and then turn, look left. Inhale to the center, now over to the left, turn, look right. So at your own pace, moving rhythmically, almost like you're a pendulum, back and forth. Just opening up the hips, opening up the shoulders, the neck, generating some heat, strengthening the legs. And then come to the center. And then slow inhale, look up. Arms come out, and then exhale back to the center. And again, inhale. And exhale one more time. Okay. Now let's bring the feet back to a neutral stance. Let's drop the arms down, and we'll do a little shaking with, let's do the kidney sound, which is CHOOO. So let's start shaking the knees, shaking the elbows, the wrists. And then on the exhale, we'll make the kidney sound. So inhale. And again. And we'll start to slow down now. Okay, now we are ready. We've distilled the interior. So we'll do a few flows today that have to do with the full moon, since it was a full moon last night. And we'll start with moon over the lake. So the feet are maybe slightly wider than hip distance apart. The palms face down. Drop the shoulders down away from your ears. So we start just by transferring the weight slightly from the left foot to the right foot. And as we do, we're going to gently draw the arms across the body over to that side. So we're still moving from the center. So there's a slight, we'll call it almost like a figure 8 of the hips. So if I'm not even using my arms, you can see, right, shifting the weight over to the right foot and then the left foot. So a slight turn of the hips as you do. And so the arms, just as an extension of your center, are going to cross the body. Nice and easefully and slowly. And imagine that your fingertips are tracing the surface of this beautiful lake at night. So slowing the breath down, slowing the movement down, placing the awareness on this moment, this movement. Imagining the sensation of water beneath your fingertips. Right, the lake representing our life force energy. And then imagine that there's this brilliant full moon above, creating this beautiful reflection on this lake. And the moon, the bright, full white moon, white light, is representing our consciousness, clear consciousness. Now, as we trace the fingertips and we move across over to the right, from here, we're going to inhale, lift the arms up with keeping your wrists nice and loose. Now come to the center, and then we transfer the weight over to the left foot and we exhale down to the left. And then we transfer the weight to the right foot again as the hands move across over to the right, tracing the surface of water. And then we inhale, rise up like mist rising off a lake. And as we come over to the left and exhale, imagine that mist condenses again, drops back like rain back into the lake. Across, inhale, connecting to that energy of the mind, that peaceful, clear mind, exhaling back down. And the expansiveness of this clear mind. And we start to slow the mind chatter down, focusing on the breath, creating space between the thoughts, where this brilliant moon shines even brighter. So exhale as the hands come down and across. And then inhale as the arms come up and over. Exhale. Inhale. Just think as the arms descend, that rain comes down, condenses into form. This peaceful lake or life force energy rising up, helping to steam away the impurities, the mind chatter. Now, as we exhale, let's pause, and then we'll just again go back and forth. So over to the right and then left, because we have to go in the opposite direction. So just reconnecting with the space below. The moon last night, especially with all of the snow, it's so incredible how beautiful it is when the snow is illuminated. It sometimes feels like it's almost like midday. It's pretty crazy how the moon and its reflection just illuminates everything. So thinking about the moon illuminating, who it is that we really are before, right? Before, now we're going to inhale over to the left. We're inhaling up now, coming over to the right, exhale down. Who we are before even language. Right? We're constantly growing and changing, which is good. But there's that piece of us that always present, never changing spark that was there in the beginning. Most associated with our deep, deep internal peace and tranquility. Just allowing yourself to move effortlessly, just gliding across. Inhale, reaching up, connecting to above. Exhaling, condensing back down. And then let's bring the hands back to the center. Let's go into our chi ball for a moment. Just feel the space between your palms. And imagine that space is this brilliant white light, almost like you're holding a mini version of that full moon, that energy. And then let's turn so we're still holding that ball, but now your left hand is on top and your right hand is on the bottom. Perfect. And this is called eating the moon cream. So now that we've connected with the yin, the life force, our fluids, the lake, and our clear mind, now we're going to condense that moon energy. So we're going to inhale, float the left hand up Now we're going to windmill the hands. So the right arm comes to the right, left arm to the left. So now the right hand is on top, left hand is on the bottom. Exhale that top hand down. And imagine that you're taking all of that moonbeam, that moonlight, and you're condensing it. And as you're condensing it like a coil, it gets a little tighter and tighter and tighter. And imagine that coil unspringing. And inhale, now the right hand comes back up, out to the right, and left hand out to the side, and then back up. So it's basically you're windmilling your hands and then exhaling the top hand down, condensing, condensing, and then letting it spring open. And then yes. So let's actually exhale as the hands come around, and then inhale as the hands come together. So exhale like a big release, and then we're gathering on the inhale, in condensing in and down. So exhale out to the sides, and then inhale down the center. So imagine drawing that energy of the moon in to the center, down, and then it becomes so powerful. We spring back open, windmill, right down through the center, right into our digestive system. Inhaling, condensing. Exhale, spring out. And let's go a little slower. When we slow down, the movements become more powerful. They almost become more dense like. The mind becomes more engaged. Sometimes the faster we go, like the world's already moving too fast. And sometimes that is a lot easier for the autopilot to be turned on. So we intentionally go slow, right, to turn off the autopilot and get back into the driver's seat of our consciousness, of our thoughts, of our emotions, the decision maker. Our awareness gets activated and channeled. And then let's do one more to each side. And then we'll keep the hands back in a regular chi ball, side by side for a moment. And then we'll drop the arms down. Let's see where we are. And we'll end with pulling down the skies. So inhale the arms down, around, and up. And exhale. And inhale. exhale. And one last time. And then bring the feet close together again. Let the hands come and fall just below the belly button. And we'll pause here, feeling your feet really rooted. Just letting all of that good energy work create its resonance. Just feeling your body. Now that we've stretched and breathed and opened, moved with intention. All the good things that we benefit from when we move in these types of exercises and modalities. It's not just a physical practice, it's a mental practice, it's emotional practice, all in one. And when you're ready, you can crack